Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about the basic geometrical ideas of class 6th, and this is chapter 4. Here we are going to learn about some of the basics of geometry which are required to learn geometry further. And most of the time we have seen all of the objects in our surroundings are of some shapes and some lines. So these all are geometric shapes, and we have to go in the concept of these shapes. And let's start with the first concept, that is point. So what is point? Point is actually a dot. If you put a dot, this is called a point. So you can say it is a location in a given shape. Suppose this is the area and you have pointed one part, it is one of the location. So it can be, the size of the point is not fixed. We cannot determine the size of a point. It can be a very small dot which is invisible, or it can be a big dot also which is visible. Okay. So the size of the dot or the size of the point do not matter. So point is actually the location of a given dot. Now second is line segment. So point is just like this. Point is represented by alphabet, that is A, B, C, like this. Now line segment. Line segment is a small segment of a line which have two endpoints. It will have a starting point, and one of the point will be end point. So it is made of many points. In between these 2 points there are infinite points. We can plot so many points on this line. So there will be infinite points in between these 2 points A and B, and the line segment has a fixed length. We can measure it by a scale, so it has a fixed length. Now coming to the line segment is also denoted, this line segment will be denoted like this, AB, and then a straight bar will be there. Now the third point is line. The line is actually like this. It is non-ending. It can go infinite on both the sides. So it can be represented by any 2 points in between. You can give a name A and B as a point. You can take any 2 points and represent this line like this. The line is represented as AB, and you will have arrow on both the side because it is going infinite in both the direction. So you cannot measure a line because it has no ending points. It will go infinite in both the direction, so you cannot measure the line. The line segment is a part of a line. If you take some part of this line, it will become a line segment. Okay. So this is the difference between line segment and a line. The next point is intersecting line. So what are intersecting lines? If you draw any 2 lines and if they cross each other, at one point, suppose the point be P, if they cross each other at one point, then you can say that this line can be denoted like this, L, another line can be denoted by M. You can say line L and M are intersecting each other at point P. So they will make some angle between them. They will make angles between them whenever the lines intersect each other. Next point is parallel line. What are parallel lines? Here the 2 lines were intersecting. If the line do not intersect each other and they go on continue to extend both the side, they are never intersecting each other, they are going parallel to each other, then you can say that they are parallel lines. In this case, the distance, the perpendicular distance between the two lines at any given points will be same everywhere. This perpendicular distance will be same. Suppose it is 1 meter, it will go and continue with 1 meter. Now you can see that examples of intersecting line is alphabet X. It is these are the line segment, but they are intersecting each other. Similarly, we have seen many times, many places there are cross like this. In the bridges also, if there is a bridge over the river, you can see the rods are put in the cross. These are intersecting lines. And if you see the top and bottom of this bridge, they are going parallel to each other, they are not intersecting each other. So these lines are parallel lines, these are intersecting lines. Similarly, you have seen railway tracks, they go parallel all the time, they never intersect each other. Sometime there are crossing is made, but most of the time they are parallel. So these are the examples of parallel and intersecting lines. Our next topic is a ray. So what is a ray? Ray is also a part of a line, but there is one concept that it has a starting point, but there is no ending point. That means it will start from a point and the line will go on continue on the other end. It will go up to infinite. Such type of line will be called as a ray, and you have to denote one more point to show this ray. So this ray will be denoted as AB, putting a ray like this. You have to put a symbol of a ray like this. In line you have seen the symbol like this. Both sides they were having arrow, and in line segment there was no arrow, just a bar. So these are the different symbols which are used for a line segment, line and the ray. So ray can't be measured because it is going infinite in one direction. So it is starting, so starting point can be seen, but there is no ending point. Also, some of the examples of the ray are the lights coming from the light source, such as tube lights, bulb. You can say ray is also coming from sun. So these are the examples of rays. Next is curves. So what are curves? Till now we are seeing that we have drawn straight lines. So if I draw randomly or I doodle on the surface like this, or randomly I draw anything, this type of diagrams are called curves. We mostly used in our drawings, we mostly used in geometrical diagrams such as maps. We also use curves in our biological diagrams. So these all are curves, and they may also include straight lines. The curves also include straight lines. So if I am drawing a straight line, this is also a part of a curve, but this cannot be said as line. This type of diagram will be not a line. So the curve include a straight lines also like this, and there can be a curve like this. So this type of diagram all are curves. So there are different curves. We will learn about the two types of curves, that is simple curve and complex curve. So what is the difference between simple curve and complex curve? Suppose I have drawn a curve like this. Okay, this curve is not intersecting itself, it is going it is a closed curve, but it is not intersecting itself. This curve is also not intersecting itself. But if I draw a curve like this curve is intersecting itself. So these are the two types of curve. You can also draw like this. This is also intersecting curve. So what is the difference between the two curve types of curves? This is a simple curve, this is a complex curve. If a curve intersect itself at some points, then it becomes a complex curve. Otherwise it will be a simple curve if it do not intersect itself. So this is the difference between the simple and complex curve. It do not intersect itself, it intersect itself at some point. Now you have seen the diagrams also. Now the curves can be also categorized based upon the closing and opening. So if I draw like this, a curve is drawn like this, so you can see it is not making a closed boundary, so it will be called as open curve. So next type of curve is open curve. And another will be closed curve. So closed curve will be closing a boundary like this. You have seen many times triangles, these are also closed curves. So all the shapes which have a closed boundary will be called as closed curve. If any shape is not having a closed boundary, it will be called as open curve. Now position of a point in a given figure. So you can see every figure have some regions. So how we will define the positions of a point in that figure? In a given figure. See, suppose I have drawn a figure like this, a closed figure I have drawn. So how many parts this closed figure is dividing this portion? You can see there is an interior part, there is an exterior part, and there is also a part or a point on the boundary. There can be a part in the boundary also. So three major parts are divided, different regions you can say. First interior, then second is exterior, and then third is on the boundary. So this is called, if the point A is here, it will be called in interior, point B is on the boundary, and point C is placed at the outside of the boundary. So you can say the point A lies in the interior of the boundary of the interior of the figure. Point C lies on the exterior of the figure, and point B lies on the boundary. So these are the different regions a figure can have. It can be drawn for other figure also. It can have, all the types of these figures will have three parts. Always a figure divide a given region in three parts. Now the next point is, we will learning about the polygons. What are polygons? till now we have seen many types of shapes. They were containing curves, straight lines, and we have seen the closed figures also and open figure also. Now what are polygons? Polygons are actually the closed figure which are made of only line segments. They are having only straight lines. So if I draw a figure like this, A, B, C, D, E. So this is a closed figure and it contains only line segments. It is not having those curvy shapes, or you can say they are not having any curves. So you can say this is a polygon is a type of a curve which only have straight line segments. Okay, so minimum line segment which is required to make a polygon, it should be also closed. The minimum line segment which is required to make a polygon is at least three line segments. Line segments is must. If there is only two line segment, you can see if I take two line segment, it will be not a closed figure, and if it is not a closed figure, it is not a polygon. So at least one more line segment is required to complete a closed figure. So now it is the minimum requirement, that is 3 line segments should be there to prepare a polygon. So we can have infinite number of line segment in a polygon. You can have many line segments in a polygon. So all the polygons are having straight line segments. So what are the various parts of this polygon? What are the various elements of this polygon? Let us see. A, B, C, D, E, F. Now how I have named this polygon? See here, I have put some points here at the corners. There are straight line segments also. So some of the parts is one of the part is sides. So polygon has sides. These line segments AB, BC, CD, ED, EF, EA, all are sides. These are line segments. Segments such as AB, BC, CD, ED, EF and FA. These all are line segments, or you can say these are the sides of a polygon. Next important element is vertex. So what is vertex? This is a common point. Vertex is a common point such as A, B, C, D, E, F. It is a common point of two sides from where they are connected. The two sides are connected with a point A, and this point is called vertex. Similarly, B point is connecting AB and BC. C point is connecting BC and CD. D point is connecting DC and ED. In this way, this is connecting two sides. The vertex always connect two sides. So you can say common point where two sides connect each other. The next thing is diagonal. You can also see what are adjacent sides and what are adjacent vertices. Let's discuss this first. Here you can see this AF and AB are connected with each other. Okay. And adjacent these two sides AF and AB are connected with each other, or you can say they are the neighbors, and such type of sides will be called as adjacent sides. So you can say AB and AF make adjacent sides. Similarly, AB and BC also make adjacent sides. BC and DC are also making adjacent sides. So all of these sides are adjacent sides. Similarly, we also have adjacent vertices. See here, the point A and B both are joined by a single line segment, so they are adjacent vertices. A and B are adjacent vertices. Similarly, you can see A and F are connected by a single line segment, that is by a one side. You can say these are also adjacent vertices. F and E are also adjacent vertices. In this way, you can say ED, DC, BC are the pairs of adjacent vertices. Now, if I take A and C point, the vertices A and C point are not connected by a single line segment, so they will be not called as adjacent, or you can say they are non-adjacent vertices. Okay. So similarly, A, E is non-adjacent vertices, A and D is non-adjacent vertices. So all of these are non-adjacent vertices. Now come to the next concept, that is diagonal. So what is diagonal here? It is the third most important element of a polygon. In this diagram, suppose this is a polygon A, B, C, D, E. If I connect the non-adjacent vertices, that is A and C, this is a non-adjacent vertices. If I connect these two by a line segment, then it becomes a diagonal. Similarly, if I connect B and D, because it is non-adjacent vertices, it will become a diagonal. Now what about A and B? If I connect A and B, it will be a side, because A and B are adjacent vertices. So all those line segments which are connecting non-adjacent vertices in a polygon are called as diagonal. So these all are diagonals. So diagonals are line segments which connects non-adjacent vertices. So example, AD, AC, EB, DB, EC, these all are the adjacent, you can say these all are the diagonals of these polygons. So we have covered this diagonals also. Now the next thing we have to look at is angles. Angles of the any object. What are angles? Angle is also a very important part in a geometry. Many times we have seen the two lines are intersecting each other and they are inclined to each other at some angle, some degree, and we have seen the corners in the rooms, walls are joining each other. Whenever there are two straight lines join each other, they form some gap in between them, they make an inclination, and that type of inclination is generally considered as a angle. But what is angle actually? You see, many times we rotate some things, they will turn at some degree, they will make some rotation. So how to count this rotation, amount of rotation, how to measure such type of activities? We can measure the lengths, we can measure the man is running up to how much distance by a scale like this. Okay, but to measure the rotation, amount of rotation, we use angles. So here the angles, suppose there is a line and there is another line, and I start rotating the second line like this. This is the first line, or you might have seen the needle of the clock. Okay, in that there is 1 hour needle and another is a minute needle. So they continuously make some distance with each other, or they rotate at a fixed point and make some angles with each other. This type of rotation will make some angles with the starting line. Okay, so you can see if this lines goes up to here, this will increase, the distance between them will increase. This amount of rotation the line has done is considered as a angle. Okay, if there is a less rotation, it will make a small angle. If there is rotation is large, it will make a bigger angle. So all such type of rotation of an object are measured through the angle. So if there is a, suppose a circular disc and it is rotated at some point, and you make a point here, it may, if you start rotating this disc, this point may go here. Okay, so starting point was this and the end point is this one. So you can now check how much you have rotated the disc by measuring the degree or by measuring the angle, and the angle is measured in the unit called as degree. This is measured by protractor, or that is called D, or it is also measured by circular protractor. Now you can see the angle are made up of, whenever we construct a diagram in the plain paper, the angles are made up of two rays. They are starting from a common point, that point is called vertex. So suppose it is A, and we can name the ray like this. You can put in anywhere a second point, and so you can say AB and AC are the rays, or you can say arms. They are also called arms of the angle. And what is the angle? The name of the angle will be called like this, angle BAC. The vertex of the angle should come in the middle. Rest of the ending points will come at the side. So this, if you want to tell about this angle, this will be called as angle BAC. So what are the components of angles? It contains arm AB, it contains arm AC, it also has a vertex A, and there will be some measurement of this angle, and it will be called in degree measurement. So this was about the angle. Now let us see the regions of angle. What are the region of angles? If I draw an angle like BAC, you can see this ray will not stop here, it may go up to infinite. Similarly AC, this ray will go up to infinite. So how to check whether the point is lying inside the ray, outside the ray, or on the ray? So if what you can do now, you can shade below of this line like this towards the ray AC, and because it is going infinite, you can continue further. Okay. Similarly, if you shade upside towards AB, the shading will be done like this. So you can see there is some crossing of these two rays. two portion, two shaded regions are crossing each other, and this crossing portion, that is common portion of the shade, is called the interior of the, it is called the interior of the ray, or interior of the angle, sorry. And the rays, the shading where the this intersection is not happening is called exterior of the angle, exterior of angle, and it is called interior of angle. Now, is there any restriction of the interior of the angle? It is whether it is limited to some portion? No, it is not limited, because the ray can go to infinite. It will continue to spread. So this region is also not constant. It will go up to infinite. So the interior of an angle is always infinite, and the exterior of the angle will be in those portion where the intersection of the two shading is not happening. And if a point is on the ray, on the angle, you can put on the line. All the points which are on the arms of the angle are called the point on the angle. This was about the region of the angles. Now our next topic is triangle. Triangle is a special polygon which contains three sides, or you can say which contains three line segment, and it is a closed figure. So triangle, the name as suggests, tri means three and angle means angle. So triangle consists of three angles. You can see this is a terminating point, this line is going like this. So here it is an angle 1, this is angle 2, and similarly this is angle 3. So triangle consists of three angles. It also has three sides. It has three vertices. This is the shape of a triangle. You can have a different shapes of a triangle like this. So we can make different triangles with the help of line segments. So what are the three important component of triangle? Vertices, and which are A, B and C. Point A, B, C are the vertices. Sides AB, BC and AC, these are called the sides of triangle. Angles, so what are the angles? Angle 1, you can also name it for differently. Angle ABC, angle ABC if you want to denote angle B. Angle BAC, that is angle A, and angle ACB for angle C. So these are the components of triangle, and it is one of the important polygon. Or also you can say that it is the polygon which has minimum number of sides. Below this there is no other polygon which can be made, or you cannot make a polygon by two sides. Now next point is quadrilaterals. Quad means four. Quad means 4 and laterals means sides. Now it is also a polygon having 4 sides. So ABCD is a quadrilateral in which A, B, C and D are vertices. Angle, these are angles DAB, angle ABC, BCD and CBA. There are 4 angles in the quadrilateral. There are 4 sides in the quadrilateral, that is AB, side BC, side DC and side AD. And also you can see there are some non-adjacent vertices also present here, so we can also make diagonals here. So in quadrilaterals you can see the two diagonals are possible, and we can write it contains vertices, that is A, B, C and D, these are vertices, sides AB, BC, CD and AD, angles, angle DAB, angle ABC, angle BCD and angle CDA. These are the angles of the quadrilateral. And diagonals, diagonals are AC and DB. So these were the concepts of quadrilateral. We can see some of the adjacent sides here. The adjacent sides are AB and BC because they are connected by a common point, that is B. Similarly, BC and CD are adjacent sides. Non-adjacent sides are AB and DC. AB and DC are non-adjacent sides because they are not connected by a common point. Or you can also say AB and BC are opposite sides. Similarly, AD and BC are opposite sides. So we have some opposite sides in this quadrilateral, but that is not in the case of triangle. Opposite angles are there. You can see this angle. First we can see that this angles, the angle A and angle B are connected by a common line segment AB. So you can say these are adjacent angle. What you can say? Angle A and angle B are adjacent angles. So angle A and angle B are adjacent angles. Similarly, angle B and angle C are adjacent angles. Angle C and angle D are adjacent angle. So all of these are adjacent angles. Now what about this angle A and angle C? They will be non-adjacent angles, and the non-adjacent angles in the quadrilaterals are also called as opposite angles because they lie just opposite of them. So opposite angles. So which are the opposite angles here? Angle A and angle C, they are opposite to each other. Angle B is opposite to angle D. So there are two pairs of opposite angles, angle A and angle C, angle B and angle D. Similarly, two pairs of opposite sides are there, angle this side AB and side DC are opposite to each other. Similarly, AD and BC are opposite to each other. Now next topic is circle. As you seen that the line segment is made up of set of points, there are lot of points in it, and if you join all the points, it become in a particular direction, it becomes a line segment. Similarly, circle is also a set of line points. It is a set of points which is at equal distance from a center or a single point. It is a set of all the points which are at equal distance from a given point. So this point is called the center of the circle. And this is a circle. You can see that every point on this circle will be at equal distance from the center. The distance of this point O from the boundary of this circle is always same, and this part is called radius. This distance is called radius of circle. So what is the definition of radius? Radius is a line segment. It is a line segment whose one end is at center and other end is at boundary of circle. Radius is same everywhere. Radius is same in a circle. So if you see this radius, if you put a point A, B like this, OA and OB, this both of these are the radius and it will have the same measurement, or you can say that their length will be always same. Now our next point is circumference, or you can say first let us see what is diameter. You have seen the point line segment joining from center to a boundary. Now if I take it in a straight line, another radius like this, and this straight line which is passing through, or you can say a line segment which is passing through the center and its end points lies on the boundary of a circle, then it is called diameter. And diameter is always double of the radius because it contains two radius. So it is a line segment joining, you can crossing or passing through is better, passing through center of circle and its end points are on boundary of circle. Now you have seen many times the word boundary. What is the boundary called in the circle? This boundary is called in the circle as circumference. This is actually circumference. So what is the boundary? Boundary is the circumference of the circle. So now circumference it is a boundary of a circle. Now coming to next concept of the circle, that is sector. What do you mean by the sector of the circle? See here, if I join the center point O of a circle with the boundary containing two radius like this, making some angles in between them. Now the point A and B are on the boundary of the circle. The region or the portion between these two radius and this circumference or this arc, this region will be called as sector. So what is the sector? Sector is a region which is bounded by two radius and a arc of a circle. So sector is a portion or region which is bounded by two radius and arc of a circle. Now, does we have any real life examples? Suppose there is a chapati in a circular shape. If you cut this chapati in this line portion, if you cut from here, this portion will be separated and this part, the separated part will be called as sector. You have to take the portion from the center. If you fold this circle, if you have a circle and you fold this circle, it will become half. And this part is also called the sector of the circle, because these are the two radius having the center here. These are the radius and this is a curve. So this will be also called as a sector, this semicircle. And if you again fold it, it will become like this. If you fold from here, it will become like this, and this will be called as quadrant of a circle, 1/4 of the circle. Okay, so all such types of shapes are sector. This one is also a sector because there are two radius and it is bounded by an arc. So this whole portion is a sector. This is a sector, this is a sector. So these all are the examples of sectors. You may have seen pizza in which you just the shopkeeper break it in the form of sectors. Those are the sectors. The separate pieces are called the sectors. Similarly, if you cut the cake from the middle in a straight line, if from the diameter, the two portion will be called as sector. Now the next important term is segment. If I break this circle not from the center, by a line not passing from the center, suppose I break from here. Okay, now there is no inclusion of radius. So this portion is broken by a chord. You can say this is a chord. I will go to this segment also, what is chord. So if I break by a line like this, and this is an arc, and this is called chord, the region between them is called segment. So segment is a portion surrounded by an arc of a circle and a chord of a circle. So next point is chord. What is chord? Chord is a line segment joining the end points of whose end points lie on the circumference of a circle or the boundary of a circle. So the diameter is also a chord, and the diameter will be always the longest chord in the circle. The diameter is also a chord. You cannot draw a longer chord than a diameter. So this is also a chord, this is a chord, this is a chord. If the line segment is having the endpoints on the boundary of a circle, then that line segment will be called as a chord. And the region between the arc and the chord is called segment of a circle. So these were the terms which were related to circle, and you have covered most of the points and almost all the basic terms which are used in geometry. So that is for today only. Have a good day. Thank you.